Let's talk about a few things. Let's pick a scenario where there are two restaurants, restaurant A, restaurant B. They're both steak restaurants. They both have similar quality and similar prices, and you like them both. And let's talk about a scenario and two different ways of handling it. Let's say you're in the steak restaurant and you like them both. It's hard to see a bad leader when the country's economy is doing great and the stock market's through the roof. It's hard to see a bad manager when everything's going right. But it's when things go wrong is when you can really see good and bad management or good and bad leaders. So let's say same scenario happens in both restaurants. You have a view of the kitchen. So you place your order for a steak. You happen to look over, your steak goes onto a plate. You see the waiter trip, steaks on the floor. Both scenarios. Both restaurants, steaks on the floor. Both restaurants, the waiter puts the steak back on the plate, brings it to you and puts it in front of you. Restaurant A, the steak fell on the floor. Waiter says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And the waiter freaks out and leaves. Let's say you get the manager. This waiter brought me a steak that fell on the floor. What can you do about this?" The manager's like, "I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm going to talk to that waiter." Talks to the waiter. Waiter says, "Yes, the steak fell on the floor. It was a complete accident. I panicked. I didn't know what to do." The manager says, "We're going to talk to him. We're going to tell him it's okay if he drops a steak. He has to just let us know. We're going to throw it away. We're going to get you a new steak. We're going to comp you a meal. How can we make this right? I'm going to also talk to my staff. We are not allowed to serve food that has been on the floor." So there's accountability. There's also how they can make it better. So management is doing everything in their power to make it better. Management is also comping me my meal. Management is also telling me that I'll get another free meal if I come back. I feel comfortable at this point knowing that this has been taken care of and there's accountability. Restaurant B. Restaurant B. You see the waiter, if the steak falls on the floor, he brings it over to you, plops it in front of you. "Excuse me. This steak was on the floor. I saw it fall on the floor." No, that steak didn't fall on the floor." "What are you talking about? I saw you drop this steak on the floor. This steak was on the floor." "No, I didn't drop that steak. You actually saw the steak fall on the floor." "Can you call the manager, please? I'd like to speak to the manager." "Sir, this steak fell on the floor and he served it to me." And he's like, "Well, I don't think that's true. I spoke with the waiter. The waiter said he didn't drop it on the floor." I'm like, "There's a camera right there. Can you check the camera footage?" The manager says, "We checked the camera footage. We didn't see anything. That steak did not fall on the floor." "Are you serious? Are you going to do anything about this?" "No. Why would we do anything about it? The steak didn't fall on the floor." Where are you more likely to go back to? The place that was accountable and learned from it and held their employees to a higher standard and actually compensated you in a way that was meaningful to the situation? Or are you going to go somewhere that you don't know how much stuff is going on behind closed doors because they have no accountability? And you don't know if you go back there that you'll be safe to eat something that wasn't on the floor or spit on or whatever. You don't know what they're doing behind closed doors if they have that type of attitude. You know what I'm saying? If they have no accountability, how can you be sure when you go back that you're going to get a meal that wasn't spit in? So what kind of places do you want to go and spend your money in when we're talking about restaurants? Do you want to spend your money in a place that has accountability, that has higher standards, that can accommodate when issues come up? Or do you want to go eat at a restaurant where they clearly have footage of the steak falling on the floor, but they deny it? They deny that anything happened, and they have zero accountability. And then you don't know if in the future you bring your business there, if they will do anything if something goes wrong again. What about casinos and card rooms? What kind of places do you want to bring your business to?